What up, chat? How we doing, chat? What up, Miss K, Ange, 2B? How you guys doing? What up, Toasted? What up, Armani? AA Booze, how you doing? What up, Paul? Hunting Pips, Ron, Lark. I'm doing good. Doing wonderful. I didn't really trade New York today, mainly just because I didn't want to tilt after looking at a video. Just because before pre-market, I did like the numbers to see if I actually held my trade, what it would be at. Dumb decision. But between that gapping up as well as CRM, which I ended up closing yesterday, with its gap up as well, I just didn't want to tilt because if I lost money, I'd probably just be irritated with it. What up, Gael? How you doing? What up, Chima? What up, Victor? How'd you guys trade today? Obviously, the indices were a little bit chaotic with a broader range throughout the most part, other than a couple little sell-offs that we had throughout the day. Like dog water? Gael, that doesn't sound good, brother. That doesn't sound good. What up, Doug? I was too bullish and took 17 trades. We kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, where we looked at this daily chart and said if there's going to be a day where people really possibly blow up to like overtrade, trying to chase more longs, it's going to be the day coming after something like this, right? And I feel like today was a really good opportunity for that. If you were focused a lot on longs, because every day's just been buy the dip. If there was a dip, and then it just keeps ripping. Love to hear that, Gael. Got 400 to draw. That's not terrible. But even so, dude, when you finish a day, the only thing worse than that is probably like break even. Well, I don't know if I'd say it's worse, but like mentally taxing. Because if you take like 17 trades in a day and you just end up coming out break even, you're like, dude, what did I just do? Like you're mentally drained for 3 days after that one. And you're like, what the hell just happened? 3 for 3 green with a total of 2,800 plus. My man. South Africa, 1 a.m. local time. I appreciate you being on, my guy. I appreciate it. Yeah, Gael, I was on stream when he picked you. I was there. Just means now. Well, could you technically win a giveaway? Because you didn't win. Well, you won on stream, so I guess that counts. I think it counts. I don't know how the numbers work. Hell yeah, Gael. That's the way to do it. So let's get rid of this. We're going to put one right about here for our little upside resistance, around 72, 73s. Obviously, we have a little support from yesterday's session that we're respecting now. We were ready yesterday's open. Son of a bitch, we are. Well, yeah, right at the open, we're a little bit below the consolidation. It should be pretty transparent the way I trade and the way I chart. Try the other Wi-Fi. Are we back? We finally back? Bro, this shit is gonna make me tweak. Appreciate you guys for sticking around. I know a lot of people probably left. It is what it is. But dude. And it's not the internet, because I'm quite literally on the internet replying to you guys on stream. And I ran the internet. It is glorious. Got a $3,600 payout today. Hell yeah. Ron, it's not the internet though. Because it also happened to Mitch on his stream too. Polar bear. I mean, technically that's what we get, but I think I'm at I was at 650 when I ran it on the internet I was on. I don't think it's YouTube either. It's OBS did a new update because the same thing happened to Mitch where it continuously went down on his stream like 3 times. But it seemed like it only happened to me and Mitch. I know it's partly YouTube, but also OBS. It's just the most irritating thing because I have to sit here and wait, try to figure out what's going on. We'll see. Hopefully it doesn't keep happening. Just so you guys know, it happened 3 times right there. Jeremy, I'm in. I'm here. Everything's going great except for whatever's happening with OBS. It was me, Toasty. Can you knock it the fuck off? I've gotten hit with OBS more than I've taken trades this entire week. Toasty, what do you mean it was you? Or what do you mean you're confused? Gael, I'm waiting. I mean, the main thing I want to see is us get out of this range. Because the past 3 trading days haven't given us any conviction for the most part. Yeah, so I'm seeing something that the new OBS updates possibly causing drop frames. Think we test 7800 again? We can easily. I think today will be more of like a range boundish, wider consolidation day again as we head into NFP Friday. So we'll see what overall direction we go. We're still at technically a higher low. The only thing is we're up in this like price discovery area on ES. NQ is coming down into the lower end of this consolidation. I'm not overly bullish. I'm not overly bearish. I'm back in the mindset of when we were like down here, where I'm willing to trade either direction, whatever the market kind of wants to give us for the most part. Since obviously these sessions have been consolidating for the majority of it, but we also just got to trade what the market's going to be able to actually provide. But 7,800 is not crazy. It's 35 points away. I mean, NFP could send us up there or nuke us right back lower. For now, we're likely just in a wider volatile daily range. But chat, how are you guys doing? Also, what are you guys looking at? I see 41% is leaning more to the upside. Oh, we're tied. 41%, 41% bearish. Interesting. Gold taking off again? Not yet, but it can. Remember what we've said, though. If gold does get buying pressure, it's going to make a large rally. We finally got over 4,200, and it still has room. If gold went above 4,400 today, tomorrow, whatever you want to count it as, it wouldn't be shocking. In full honesty, it wouldn't. Do you trade only options today? Jeremy, I didn't trade options at all today. The main reason was I didn't want to. I was in that mindset where I felt like I could easily revenge trade, and I really didn't want to. Because this week, going into today, before close yesterday, I had CRM calls. Those gapped up a decent amount, rallied up to like 195s. Those would have been like 200%, which is what it is. But NVIDIA is the main thing that kind of just had me not wanting to do it. Because the amount, I had probably $1,200 worth of 210 calls for Friday that were, I think I got in at 92 cents each. Obviously, they would have been like $12. But I kind of just closed them I think I closed them back here. When I really shouldn't have. My overall thesis, I wanted to see 220. I thought 220 was going to hit. And I just talked myself out of it. So to avoid doing anything dumb, I just didn't trade today. Yeah, Arceus, all options for me is personal funds. So anything I risk on options is going to be personal money. Anything I make is personal money. I really don't believe in the prop firm space for options. Hey, Booze, if you want to learn options and you're familiar with trading futures, SPY QQQ is going to be the easiest way. If you want to genuinely learn how they work before putting substantial risk on, don't trade 0 days. Trade a couple days out, whether that's 2, 3, whatever it is. Could even be 1. Trade smaller size till you get the hang of it, till you get the understanding of it. But if you're already trading SPY or ES and NQ, you can just trade those options alongside with it. Something like gold as well. Gold has GLD that you can trade. Oil has USO. So you can trade options alongside these just to get the hang of it, trading a chart that you already typically know how it moves. Digital, I don't know if we're getting a gold pullback. I don't know if we are at the moment. As long as the dollar keeps being weaker, we could see gold rip, right? Gold usually counter the dollar. The dollar has sold off pretty aggressively, I must say, off that like 101.4s that we were watching. If gold wants to catch up, it can continue to play catch up to that move. Like I said, it wouldn't shock me if we were over like 4,400 tomorrow. But gold has made a crazy run today. Chat, what name and direction are you guys looking at today? At least for the shorter term. Let's draw a little support on NQ as well. Get a little bigger to match ES. Is the market just, yeah, market's not moving. I want to take a stab at a long on gold. You waiting for a bit of a pullback, or do you have a certain area to break that you're looking to get in? I'd be tempted to try something if the market was actually like moving. Because since stream has started, we have moved 1.25 points. Oh, Jeff, this week, I am getting the brunt end of the stick. We have ES total throughout all streams this week has gone 28.75 points within the range. And that's the extremes of the ranges too. We looked at that. So we're grooving, right? Outside of this 2-hour window, since Sunday started, we have rallied 270 points. We haven't even gotten 10% of that during the Asia streams. Rag, it's gonna be hit or miss. Sometimes NFP is dead flat. Other times NFP will move the market 2%. So it all depends on the numbers. NFP, if it wants to, can put us all the way back at the recent breakout. We're almost for sure to tell you about NVIDIA. I mean digital. It's been the chart. There's nothing else to say. I'll talk about this chart until it quits moving. I've been chilling out a little bit on it. I didn't take anything on it today, but it do be moving. All right, then we full ported to Rag. You got to make sure you're allowed though, because some firms don't even let you trade evals during news. Yeah, digital. I mean, I don't harp on a name that sucks ass and quits moving. I usually shut up about it if that happens. Lucid, yeah, you just got to be careful with that because you can trade an account through the earnings to just either blow it up or yeet it. And if you pass it, then they fail you off of that. It's just annoying. My thing is I'm interested in like a little bit of a long. I'd probably throw a stop like there. Well, what do I just target that? To be honest, I'd want a larger target out of it. Probably hold it overnight, go for like that. But I feel like that's a little extreme. I mean, that's almost the entire move we've gotten this week. SNDK. Did they do well? No. I mean, when you get a big gap down like that on earnings, it's not crazy, but a decent sized gap. You just got to see how they react off of it. Right? There's nothing for me to do here on this chart until we digest this earnings. If it holds this daily support, gets strong buying tomorrow, it could be a good long. Could be a good opportunity to just buy and let it rip. There was another name out there. I forget who it was that reported earnings today. Let me see if it's on my Claude history because I asked it a bunch of questions. Chats, Salesforce, Hubs. This name got smoked and it tanked the entire sector with it. Like the entire sector. So this one's down like 20-ish%. CRM, I think, is down, 5%. You have Now. Also got smoked a little bit. Workday. So that drug all these names down, which will be interesting to see how that move digests with it. But those names got a little cooked. App got smoked. Did it have earnings or is that part of that basket of stocks? App had earnings. Yep. That's the thing though. We're still getting really big pullbacks on certain names. We are. Yeah, digital. So it should be something that you want to pay attention to. See how tomorrow reacts. If it ends up getting stronger buying pressure, let it rip. Digital. That's because NVIDIA had news come out during that earnings report. NVIDIA out the gate initially saw that pullback, right? If you go to the extended hours, it saw that initial sell-off, and then SpaceX came out during their earnings and said NVIDIA is going to be the only product they use for GPUs, and that ripped them. That's what caused them to rally like 5+% today. And NQ Trader, does the SpaceX shares release tomorrow? Yes, digital, yes. You just happen to know AMD was gonna go down on earnings, even though I'm pretty sure they beat, and then just dropped the perfect news. To be fair, it saved them, and it made that chart look really good. This 15-second chart is fire. Zay, I don't even think I can trade the 1 minute in this. Brother, if you're on the 15-second, Jeremy, I can't really answer that the way you worded it, because the answer is going to be how much money are you willing to risk? Any dollar that goes into my options account, I'm willing to lose, right? That's why I put it in the market, because if I lose it, I'll be okay, is what it is. I'm willing to take a risk on it. And that's what you need to ask yourself, especially the fact that you put how much capital do you recommend a non-consistent trader to trade options? Low size, right? It obviously depends on the risk. Some people can trade with $10,000 and it won't impact it. Some people could trade with 500 and that's 500 they're not willing to lose. So it's not really a question that I can give the exact answer on. But I think a good round, like number-ish that you can trade options with is 2,000 to 3,000. What up, Bugs? What up, Discipline? Gael, how about, because you said I could give you 10K and you'll turn it into 30. How about you give me 10K and I turn it into 0? I like that idea better. That sounds like a lot more fun. Yeah, Jeremy, if you're inconsistent as well, I wouldn't recommend anybody trade 0 days. I think that's something in the industry that needs to be said more. They're the highest risk option. It's like being a newer trader and jumping straight into NQ versus MNQ or MES. Like, you're going to get smoked eventually. It's just a time of when. Just because you're really fighting time there. If you're trying to learn options and just trade options in general, you want a slower, smoother route. Best option for that would be weeklies, 1 week out, but you can always do a couple days out. You degen on parlays. Guy, you give me 10K, I'll put it on OSU to win the ship. Right now. Right now. Jeremy, if I put money in a self-funded futures account, yes, that money for me is risk. Yeah, you see me do it all the time on stream, personally. I mean, you guys will watch me based off the trade. Like when I was just looking at a possible trade there, what I'm doing when I'm drawing P&L tools is I'm checking what the stop would be, so that way I can then gauge my contract sizing off of that. Do I want to trade 1 ES, 2 ES, 12 micros, whatever it is? That's definitely not a lock. Come on, Gael. Sayan's sophomore year. We have Smith last year in college. Gonna win, guaranteed. Yes, Jeremy. Because what you're essentially asking is, do I define my risk on my trades? Yes. With options, I pick the contract I want to trade based off the chart, and then I obviously adjust my sizing accordingly to that. Most of the time, though, when I size into an option trade, like let's say I put $1,000 in and I'm losing 300 of it on the loss, I'm willing to lose half of that at that point. So like 500. Kyle, you better hope so. So we have gold buying, oil's a little stagnant, a little more bearish than anything. The indices look fine for a move. It's just not moving. We have now gone 2 points since we hopped on. ES gonna rocket soon? Bro, I fucking hope so, dude. Out of what we've gotten on stream, I truly hope we just get one day where it's a straight moonshot or even to the downside. Just give me momentum. Can you make the markets move, please? Dude, I wish. The nice part about these markets, though, even though they suck to watch because it doesn't move, all it takes is a little, like one whale to hop in, and it'll make this thing move one way or the other. Gotta stop watching gold now to pull back. Set an alert. If it hits, look to enter. If not, chart's gone. Chart's done for. What up, Discipline? But chat, how'd the rest of you guys do today? Trading wise, obviously. You have a limit at 43 tens. I don't hate that at all if we can get there. Holy shit, we just made the entire move in 1 2-minute candle. What up, Dub? It's interesting how close the poll is, though. 44% bullish, 39% bearish. So 39% of you guys want a bigger daily pullback, which can happen. It just likely is going to happen if we get under 77.45s. Is the 39% going to win? Are we actually going to see a little bit of a move lower today? What do the other names look like? Kind of stagnant, a little sideways. The big thing is, though, NQ is back to being decently weaker. Like, you look, it reversed a big chunk of this candle from yesterday's open, while ES hasn't even gotten partly near that. And that's one thing, though. If NQ remains weaker, it's not terribly far away from last week's highs. Something that I would like dream of if it sets up would be we have a more neutral, slightly bearish bar tomorrow, and then we just have the rug pull day Friday with NFP. Now, mind you, a lot of people would probably tilt trying to buy that, but it'd be like that. To clean short from 29.630. Beautiful entry. What up, AXP? Hey, AXP, you absolute fucking whale. Can you make the market move, please? Just like a good 20 points on ES. That's all we ask for. Quick little 20-pointer that we can catch. Obviously, you let us know before you enter, and then we call it a day, right then and there. All my money this week on ES. AXP's a changed man. Oh, yep, there goes gold. Gold be ripping. Where do we think gold goes? I have 2 targets I'd be interested on gold. You either target this daily high or you target these daily lows. And I think both of those are very achievable. That would be looking at another either 80-ish points or 180 points. And I think those could easily set up. Especially if this overall move on gold continues to push. Did NQ just run your long stop? Yeah, digital. Most people forget what gold can do. I mean, I know we've been talking about it a decent amount, not as crazy. But when gold wants to move, it moves. Give it a few days. It rallies a couple hundred points easy. We do something like this off of this consolidation that's 400 points in 4 days. Could easily get up there. I mean, it could get past 3,500. Yeah, they're leaving out of the dollar. The yen influence doesn't help either. That's obviously going to continue to crash the dollar. If you see the dollar crashing most of the time, money's going somewhere in the finance space. Likely going to head either towards another currency or gold. Wait, digital, that was at 300 point. Oh, yeah, it was because it was at 450s or 40.50. So, yeah, it did rip 300. Imagine gold just goes to like all-time highs. Okay, maybe not all-time highs. Maybe not all-time highs. But like imagine it just goes to like 4,800 this week. I mean, what? That 2-minute candle was 15 points? AXP, that's shocking. You didn't touch NQ. How nice was it to trade though? I guarantee you, if you were in ES, you were completely sweat free. I tried to trade NQ yesterday, and that thing fucking sucks, dude. That thing is horrible to trade during this time frame. At least on low volume. Gallo, you want the world to burn now? Now that you got stopped? Where's your stop at? I'm officially an EVA ES convert. Chad, we got another one. We got another one. Ron, how much better is life? Just in general, after you trade ES. It's like moving to a whole new neighborhood. 77.62. Damn. That's tough. That is what we like to call tough. Gold's still going. Holy shit. My stress level's down big time. At least when ES starts looking bad, you know your stop's just going to come. Where NQ, like yesterday, it looked bad, then it looked great. Then it looked bad, then it looked phenomenal. I can never cheat on the NQ. Doug, that's what everybody says. Everybody says it until they try a little ES side bet. And then they never go back. Kind of waiting for the 15 for the most part. First off, because we're not moving. And what do I mean by we're not moving? This is 40 seconds of price action right here. That candle right there is now an entire 1 minute of price action. We have moved one tick down and then back up. And then down. And that's it. Do we have volume on this? Let's see. How do I have volume weighted average price? Oh, VWAP, duh. You can't even see it. You get intraday volume, even end of day. And this is the current volume we have. It maybe if I zoom, there we go. Now it looks like we got something. That is diabolical. What would gold be? Yeah, gold's ripping. But for instance, that's the current volume on gold without me moving the chart whatsoever. That's a yes. Yes, actually loves me back sometimes. Love to see it. I mean, it moves smooth when it moves, for sure. Can Asia open up? I know they want longs. Guile, we could continue to see the foreign markets boom and just get the next leg easily. Because a lot of people are obviously focusing on NQ a mass amount during this move. NQ is not doing anything crazy. Yes, it's moving a couple thousand points, but it's the fucking NASDAQ. And when you look at the overall individual names, they're not making insane moves. But a lot of it's based off what's happening in the dollar and just global markets right now. Yeah, AXP, that's why it's the main thing I trade. How many accounts do I have linked here? Get a little refresh. All right. Why is that on MCL? There we go. I'm still watching. Like, I'm tempted to take a long with a stop, like, there, to be honest. But just with the volume, I don't have a lot of interest. Amanda, if I'm looking at gold on a bigger time frame, I'm looking up around 4,400 to 4,420s, followed by 4,500 to 4,520s. Just the prior daily structure. Because when you look at a chart, we broke over this. What are we now in? We're trying to set a daily uptrend at the lows. Technically, we would need a higher low to do that. But right now, the momentum's not giving that, right? We're not even getting a 5-minute pullback. If it wants to continue, just target the prior highs. That's the way I look at it. Same thing with this chart. Not gonna say the name because then digital is gonna judge me. Once we finally broke over these highs, if I was still in a trade, I would look up towards this like 227s. Just find a higher resistance so you can start to target. See if worst case runners get there. Obviously, I'm not saying hold your entire position to 4,500, but I'm saying if it goes, it has room. Indy gold is the one. What up, naturally? We just had naturally trades and naturally thick. Both just pop in the chat. NQ testing open. It's close. It's not quite there yet. I see Ron G. I hit like. Appreciate you, Bass. Those are both me. you just got an alt account called Naturally Thick. Guard. Few things to know about me. I don't know if you've been on like my streams a lot. I don't trade NQ that often. I'm primarily going to trade ES. When the volume is so low that you literally cannot see the volume bars at the bottom of my screen, I'm not taking every setup that presents itself. I do not care. Could you get a little bit of a move off of it? Yeah. But when the volume literally does not exist, it just lowers my conviction. This entire week, we spent this session in a mass amount of range with low volume. Thus far, we're continuing that trend. If we do end up getting a more bearish thesis, right, we continue this little bit of a downtrend, I'm willing to take it. But I also traded NQ yesterday, and it just treated me dirty. It wasn't a great time. It was fun. I'll give you that. It was fun to trade, just to joke around with. But low volume NQ, not going to be me. I'd rather trade ES at that point. What up, Moke? You on early? Usually you say it's up around like 8:30-ish. Smart decision, T-Loud. Fine, I'll leave. See you later, brother. See you in about 45 minutes. What up, 6Kev? How was New York? I didn't trade, personally. Mainly, for those of you that are just hopping in, this will be a repeat for some. I've been trading two things this week. I traded, obviously, NVIDIA all week. The one day I'm not in a position, it gaps up like 5%. Wasn't the greatest fan of that. Obviously, the chart's just going to keep doing its thing, is what it is. At end of day yesterday, I also closed CRM calls. That would have gone at the money at least. Probably would have been like 200-ish% on those as well. Closed them right before market closed. And with seeing both of those gap up, if I took a trade and I lost, I could tell I wasn't in the mind space of where I knew I would trade good after that. So I decided to just not trade. Right. If I see an opportunity where there's a chance I just trade like shit because of something on the charts, then I'm just not going to do it. And it's not like I had FOMO in that case. For me, it's just poor execution that I was irritated on. Because I didn't really have a reason to close CRM based off the daily chart. My main plan was to hold at least half of my NVIDIA throughout the entire week. Closed it yesterday morning. So just little things like that I did, but probably shouldn't have. So why are you saying that? I need one trade to pass this account, $500. I need help. So best piece of advice I can give you right now is wait. Wait till the market wants to do a little something. What up, A-Trades? Yeah, Guard, I'm not saying that I'm just not trading because low volume. The entirety of the week on this session, the market's barely moved. So I have low conviction out the gate. We've been ranging the entire week throughout this session with next to no movement. I'm just not going to stab an entry around here immediately just because I see it during this. I'm not. When the candles are on the lower time frame looking like this, where it's not fluid movement, I'm just not interested. Everyone has preferences with trading. There's a lot of people in chat ripping this. No, nothing against them at all. Just not something I'm overexcited about. If it's not a setup that I look at and I'm like, hell yeah, I want to be in this, I usually don't get in it. Promotional volume is a slight issue when you want fluid movement, because you're not going to get that. And also with fills. Hey, Young, at least it's a demo account, brother. That is the greatest thing right there. Even though you lost money with it, at least it's a demo account. More to learn, you have Young Padawan. Guard, I'm fine, brother. I just have preferences to trade. Trust me, I usually don't look at volume. I only open this because of today. That's the only reason it's on there. But for me, it's just looking at the individual candles. If it's moving like this, I'm not looking to put risk on. At least not crazy risk. right? For me, if I take something, it'd probably be one ES where I'm risking $200, maybe $300. So I'm not going to be doing anything nuts. Mokes, software names are dumping because of, what was that ticker again? HubSpot. HubSpot got nuked on earnings. They're down 20.4%. So that's why the CRMs, the nows, stuff like that are currently down like 5%. I'm gonna touch my fundeds once I get 5 fundeds. Oh yeah. What I liked about trading ES this week, you literally never miss an entry. Oh, with NQ, you will put in 50-point wick randomly. Yeah, agreed, XP. ES is definitely a lot easier to get overall entries on, especially just the way I trade and tighter stops versus NQ. NQ is like a spring ES. ES is slower, but pays more. Yeah, you can use a lot more sizing as well. Dealing with getting ghosted, and I'm in no contact with my family, having a lot of self-doubt. Don't the problem. SO. Number one thing to remember is you don't have to prove yourself to anybody but yourself. In the end of the day, and this is the thing I live on, because my family is not my close family, my extended family is beyond booked. But you can't choose your family, right? You're going to have conflicts with families. That's just how it goes. Some people have great families, some people don't. Nothing you can do about it, personally. But in reality, I mean, the only one you have to prove anything in the world to is yourself. Trading your own account, you should be trading mini key on guard. I've actually never traded that, but I've been very interested in adapting into it during this session, particularly. It's a chart I pay attention to. I think I have it up here. Yeah, it's a chart I pay attention to a little bit during this stream, but it's not something that I put a lot of effort into trading wise. I know there's like 1 or 2 people on this stream in general that trade it. But I do keep an eye on it. I keep an eye on a couple different assets for this session, but I've never really dabbled in trading it. Yeah, I figured it's on a different exchange. I would just have to look into exactly the way of trading that. Can you look at a chart on the other exchange? I'm going to assume that's OSE. Oh, nope. SO. I did the exact same thing. Like I said, just remember, it is you wholeheartedly that you have to prove anything to in life. No one else's opinions matters a little bit. I know to some people it does, right? Like if my mom genuinely told me I'm a piece of shit, I'd be like, damn, that really sucks. But just in general, do what's best for you. If you think this is what's best for you, putting the risk on for you, getting into this career to where you can benefit yourself, do it. You gotta remember, you're living your life that you want to live versus a life that other people want you to have. Do you know they have max contract limits for ES and Q? And Q is 50, ES is 100 contracts per you have to register with the CME. Just found that out today because I was checking before trading. XP, how many contracts did you try to fucking trade? See you, Pavin. $20 by 1, no limit. That's fair. So you can trade up to 100. What would the risk on that be? 50,000 of margin? No. Yeah, 50,000 of margin. Well, lower end margin. If you take actual overnight margin, or no, I was doing the NASDAQ numbers. If you take overnight margin, probably be, I'll say 14,500 roughly. Only ASP, it's only $1.45 million in margin. You got that. It's probably just in your fund money account. Yep. I thought about that right after for the margin. It's a September contract. Yeah, usually interesting. No, I think I just did CME instead of. Dude, I'm gonna click the wrong button. A September contract on this exchange? OSE? Because OSE is December. Unless you're talking this, then yeah, I know it's the September contract. But if you click the 1 exclamation mark, it auto adjust it to that contract. SO. You don't have to do anything to prove to anybody that you're good enough. Not even yourself. Everybody's good enough, and that is all that really matters. So I would take a breather, personally. Take a breather, take a day, just think about everything, and then come back when you're a little bit clear-minded. Because if you have that mentality, if you let that get to you while you're actively trading, it's not going to end well at all. And then it's just going to be harder on yourself. So I would at least take like a day of a breather, and I don't recommend that a lot because I've never taken much off of the market in general. I would take like a day. Just think through everything, let it get out, and then come back. Guard, you're saying copy this ticker? Or trade 1 mini if you get an itch. Digital, you're always giving the worst advice. There you go, micro. The one I typed. I didn't see you type one. You typed the word ticker. There you go. I was going to say, you just typed the word ticker. You didn't type an actual ticker. Oh, it did that. Fat fingered it. There we go. So my first, I read that. In your opinion, do you think it's bad? I haven't passed the buffer since Monday. SO, no. You've seen me literally take multiple days to pass an account. You've seen me take 11 days on stream to get a payout. That is not bad that you have not passed. You are definitely just being hard on yourself, for sure, because of what you have going on. That's why I said I would possibly just take a day to breathe. 500 to pass 100K. I'm locking that bitch till Monday. Hell yeah, finesse. Go test you want to see blood. You want little over 65 points of pullback because you got stopped out. Yeah, so just remember, you're in it for the long run. You're not gonna prove anything to anybody overnight, right? You're in it for the long haul. So far, there's nothing that I'd really be interested in. If we do end up getting a little bit of buying pressure here, getting a decent setup, I'm not opposed to taking it with how the 15, 30, and hourly are looking. 4 hours, fine. It's still an inside bar. NQ still looks weaker no matter what we do, right? If I'm going to short, it's likely going to be NQ. Gold, a little bit of a pullback there. Dollar might get some movement if it can get above the open. Yeah, agreed, digital. Agreed. See you later, XP. I need haters and you have Ranji. Who am I hating on? Appreciate the support, my man. What's long, GC, brother? You want me to buy that 5-minute candle? That's where you want me to enter on that? Can it work? Yeah. I'm more focused on this chart right now just because the overall structure for sure. Third payout today, sir, 4K. Hassan. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. As long as the community and spread out risk. Good boy. Everyone in chat goes in 1 micro. And then we count the total tally for the P&L. Now you got an idea. NQ feels like a short. It's because it's weak. If it breaks below the open, I could easily see that. First ever payout was on July 25th. Son, you're telling me. And I know you've mentioned the other ones on stream because I remember that. You're telling me in a week and a half, you've gotten your first 3 payouts total. You know how fucking crazy that is? You know how insanely good that is? Dollar's getting a bit of buying pressure. 15 still has 8 minutes left, so this still could break back lower. We do have this resistance here. So if I took, let's say we end up triggering something, you could easily have like a 4-point stop on that. I'm just not convinced with NQ holding the open. Head down 1-2 trades a day. That's the way to do it. But congratulations, my man. That's huge. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that could be a hesitation, but it just depends on how much you use that in your trades for conviction. Thus far, we have currently moved as much as we did yesterday, just under 10 points. So ideally, we actually see a break at the open and just straight flush, so we can get a little bit of momentum. Yeah, why do you want to long it? Just looking at the open, trading the risk off of that. Globex and Tokyo Open hold below. Then we're good for shorts. Yeah. Yeah, that's how we were watching on NQ. Yeah, I'm having a hard time just blindly longing NQ at the open just because of structure as well. Plus we have, I mean, oil's more stagnant. The dollar's getting a bit of buying pressure here, which isn't going to be overall beneficial for the indices. And the indices haven't gone anywhere. So I still lean obviously a little more neutral until we actually get some momentum. Not even momentum, just a little bit of structure. I'm just not convinced till we get a little closer to the 15-minute close, because this could easily push back lower. We clearly have a decent resistance around 63s that we're fighting with. But obviously, like I always say, if you want a long. Make Asian session great again? Slightly, we're trying. We are fucking trying, but we are absolutely struggling this week in this session. Along at 576 is your stop just below that wick low. OP really is OP. It is, eh? It is. So far, at least. We're not safe yet for longs until NQ gets above this like 608, 610 area. When we get back above this end of day high, then I think we could easily get back into this little bit of a range up here. Trailing it kind of hard because I don't trust. I don't disagree with that. Chat, I'm going to throw up a new poll. And it's going to be a different one than we've ever done, just because I saw a guy else comment. And I'm genuinely curious. And this won't show anybody's actual names on the answers, so I'll have no clue who has or hasn't. All right, chat. New poll. Have you gotten a prop firm payout? Simple. I won't know who clicks what, but answer honestly. I'm going to try a small short on ES here with a stop at 64. I'm in one ES contract. Filled me a little late, but it's not crazy risk. See if we can get a break below the open down towards today's lows. Small risk on it, just looking at the 15, what it would genuinely end up closing like if we hold lower for the next 4 minutes. NQ's back below the open as well. Not a great look. NQ, there's a chance SpaceX does lead to a broader market push down. There is, especially depending on semiconductors as well. If those push lower while overall SpaceX sells off too, you can see a decent little push. Shorting all night long. Is there a certain time when the lockout ends? I was going to take a trade, but I'm out at Benihana, so I'm going to enjoy my food. What are you doing on stream at Benihana? Appreciate the support, my guy, but go enjoy. Let me know if you see something, Bugs. Enjoy Benihana's. Space Counter is the best there ever was. Wake up and piss excellence. Man, I'm still waiting on Apex to pay me out. 2 payouts since July 27th. They haven't paid you. I mean, you're right around that window when they should. I think they'd give themselves 10 business days, which is crazy. But most of mine have been roughly 1 week on the dot. Yeah, your second payout yesterday? Hell yeah. I'm not gonna lie, the poll is roughly where I would expect. Right around that like 50%-ish mark. So we have 62% yes, and then 38% no. Now mind you, only 42 of you have voted. Gonna be over 30K? Zach, that's why, dude. They're hesitating. They're about to take your ass live. They're about to say, this man's done. We're gonna put him on a live account, make him wait 2 weeks for that to process, and then we're good. Save themselves about 20 grand in extra payouts. Zay, you saying that pullback's lame? We'll see if ES is able to get momentum below the open or not. We got a minute 15 for this 15-minute to close. If it holds to the lower end, essentially below 60, we get a weaker 15-minute in which we can look for a bit of continuation. First week was 7,500. Second week was 10K. Friday, can request 2,000. Yeah, Zach, I was gonna say, what are you trading 5 accounts with that? Oh, Zay, it doesn't matter what position I'm in at all. It doesn't matter in the slightest. We just got a stronger 15-minute little push there to, I think, close the candle. Yeah, to close the candle, not in my favor too much. Got a little bit of a lower weight, closed it just above the prior candle low. I'll see what happens, but I'm leaving the risk on no matter what. It's $250. It's not going to be anything crazy. But I was playing off the aspect of NQ and ES both triggering, 15-minute triggering, and NQ breaking the open. So far, we're still struggling with the open. We'll see if it holds or not. But no, Zay, I'm sure a lot of people, at least a couple people in chat, longed NQ off the open. T-Loud, I use the open as the Globex open. So 6 p.m. Eastern, when the general market opens after the 1 hour close period, that is the open I use. You could also use the 8 p.m. Tokyo open if you wanted to. See how that works. Zay, it looks good so far. But after the way the markets move this week, we're at the extreme of our range max, around that 10-point number. So We'll wait, see if it ends up getting a bit of continuation. Zach, that's because we haven't fucking moved, brother. That's because other than the initial first 35 minutes, the market hasn't gone anywhere. Zay, the only reason I had a little bit of hope for today, for somewhat of, even like a little 15 pointer, maybe, you know, just a little bit on top, was because we consolidated a decent bit during New York. Spent a decent amount of the time ranging, especially towards end of day, giving us this little consolidation. But that was dumb decision. Having high hopes in the market, terrible. Evening, Christine, how you doing? Yeah. Yep, Zach. I mean, it's a couple points above. So Globex will be there. Tokyo will be 620 or 62. So about a 5 point difference. See you later, Chris. Have a good one, brother. Asia currencies consolidate amid wait to see mood on possible Hormuz reopening. Dude, imagine they do it again where the Hormuz doesn't reopen and it just tanks. All right, so the more people that vote, the poll's getting a little more 50-50 on it. We got 55% have gotten a payout, 45% no. I feel like if we got a broader market outside of, like, if we did Jake's stream, I feel like that number would be heavily towards the normal analytics. One micro and a new eval, hell yeah, finesse. Young. Is it just me or is my math not mathing too much right there? You're setting yourself limits of a $400 daily loss and a $200 max profit. My number's a number. Unless you just have a crazy day-to-day win rate, that don't make sense. You want to know the secret to getting a payout? Don't overtrade like me. Guile, that's a good one. That is a big one. Or at least if you're overtrading, just de-risk, rip one micro. All right, now ES is holding the open. Lower conviction on that. Likely going to see this head back up to 64s if buying pressure keeps going. Doesn't work. Just went 150 to drawdown on one micro. Well, Gael, that's because you're trading the NASDAQ. Young, if that's your mindset towards it, I get it. I mean, if most of your trades end up a little bit in profit before they end up in drawdown, makes sense. Just the only thing is if you hit max drawdown on one day, you're going to wipe 2 days of profit, which isn't the risk I'd normally like to have. But if it works for you, it works for you. All right, let's see if this 5 either keeps failing or we end up getting a bit of a push. What do the other indices look like? As well as gold made a little bit of a pop back up to new high a day. Oil still selling, dollars consolidating above the open. I make 3K before I lose 6. 200 should be easy. Fair. You're also using lower size though. Dollar back below the open makes me start to think we're going to retest that 64 area on ES. Oil still trending down. ES around the open, NQ around the open, RTY at the open. YM is consolidating slightly above. I'm going to let it go. See if it either works or it stops me. Have we gotten any more volume? A little bit. If bulls are going to be in control for the at least shorter term of this session, they'll want this 5 minute to get a little bit of a push. You really don't want to test above this 61s, above the prior 5 minute high, get continuation. You'd want to see it fail pretty aggressively if you want to short. If you want to be long, you don't want to see it back below 60 here. $15 starting to get a little bit of a stronger structure. What's the 30 look like? 30 bit of a lower wick, hourly as well. Yeah, there's a chance this is the shorter term low. Anticipating this should pop up, hit that stop, especially if we're going to continue to the upside. Over 64s on ES, over like 610s on NQ. Makes me really think we could possibly go back up towards the highs. Took a 15-minute buy on GC. Thinks she can run. You got in? Oh, yeah. That little entry right there on gold, if this is going to hold, that might be the only shorter term pullback. I'm thinking the whole market's going to start to get a little bit of a push. I'm just letting this stop hit if it hits. I'm not going to overmanage it. I think it goes up. I think at the moment, it looks like it wants to go higher. Especially if 5 minute closes in 3 seconds, get a little bit of a push into the close, get a stronger close. Next one will likely at least get up towards like 64s. See that high pop, retest this little low. If we get above that, then I think the market might want to start to give a little bit of movement. NKD doing? Gold's going, oil's holding. Dollar pretty weak thus far. If that continues weakness, if I was a bull, I'd want to see inside bar here. Next bar, look for that break, for that push up here. Either in this candle or the next candle, I want to see us attempt that break. So Young, you don't think it breaks over 620 if it goes higher? The way NQ reacts to this area here is going to be pretty important. Because if we can't get above that, there's not enough buying pressure at the moment to send us back up towards high of day. Bugs, that has been the entirety of the week. This currently on stream is the largest move we have had in the last 3 streams, and we've gone 11 points. I'm usually not even trimming at 11 points. And that's the extreme of the entire range. G Keepers, you take a long? Wait, Young, if you don't do strategies, how do you trade? Are you just a momentum based? Not another barcode, Simon. Give it a few minutes. We'll see. We'll see if we can get out of it. One of these days, age recession will be great again, and it's just not coming yet. Young. And I'm not judging. If it works for you and you make money on it, fuck it, right? Did you just say your entire strategy is I feel like I know where it's going to go? And that is it? Man says I don't do strategies. I'm the guy. I pick where the market goes, and that is that. Arceus goes, how much for coaching? Been waiting for forever. Simon, I mean, I wish I could help it. I wish I could give us, I wish I had enough money to just be a little momentum for it. But we need a whale to just hop in. Yeah, Young, like I said, and I've always said, if you genuinely make money doing a certain trading style, who am I to judge? Bugs, nobody likely got smoked yet unless you're an NQ. Simply because ES has moved, maybe, moved 6 points. Also, from what I've talked about, this is a good reason why I always say I like entering in the later half of the 15-minute candle, if that's what I'm watching. 15 up here was strong as shit. Big lower wick, green candle, looking strong. All you need to do is break that high. You're likely going to head over 64, straight into the highs. Within 3 minutes, we just erased the entire thing. Again. NQ looks rough now. I will say that. All right, Young. You had me on your side until you said unregulated broker. I don't listen to anything at all that says unregulated. Obviously, I'm sure you don't own the broker, right? So you can't manipulate it. But the second unregulated comes in the chat, I'm like, nah, is what it is. I mean, nice run, though, if you made 312K. Flawless. The leverage aspect with Forex is something I still don't understand. I would assume it's mainly like crypto, but 2000 to 1 is fucking crazy. Bank you can break low at bid, like target 29,500. I don't hate that. I would definitely watch 530s because that's where yesterday's lows is. See how we react to that. But if NQ breaks yesterday's lows, I'd be looking for ES to make that move down here. Which is why my target is front running yesterday's lows a little bit if we do get continuation. Danny, I don't know if you're on stream, but that's awesome. Your brother also started watching at a terrible time because the market has not fucking moved. Young, there's nothing wrong with that. So you take your trades. Do you target 10 points with a 50-point stop? And I'm going to ask a lot of questions when I hear stuff like that, just because it's something I'm not used to, right? I'm used to higher risk to reward. That's the overall risk perspective I want to see with my trading, just because then I don't have to give a shit about my win rate. Yeah, Zach, I think it's a solid level. The big thing here is going to be if NQ holds below the open, if ES can break below that open. If not, we are likely stuck in the same momentum we've been in for a few days. And that's not going to give us anything good. RTY holding below the open. Why I'm a little bit of a higher low, still neutral. Gold trying to hold. Buyers are trying to push that thing to new highs. Oil with a bit of buying pressure right into the open. Dollar not doing anything. Oh, so Young, when you use 1 mini plus, you do like 50-point stop, 10-point target, then yeah, you're likely to hit your profit target drastically before you hit that stop. Wholeheartedly. So you're looking at just a higher perspective win rate there, which makes sense. Any lotto option ideas going into end of week? Hassan. The main way I like to do with lotto based, which I just consider higher risk type of trade for a higher R to R, right? If I'm looking at 5 to 1, somewhere around there with options, that's what I'm going to be a little riskier on. Typically, that doesn't go into NFP very well. NFP can move. Markets obviously made a really nice move. I'm on the hands-on point in options trading, where I'm going to wait, see if I end up seeing a daily setup that looks phenomenal that I really like. Something that can make a couple-day move, something that I can continue to trade. I haven't seen something out the gate today when I did a little bit of a scan. Now, I didn't look at everything. I looked at just a couple names. Nothing really stuck out exponentially to me. So, not really, especially with NFP. My main thesis, wait till after NFP Friday, see if anything sets up Friday for me to take over the weekend. One HP, it should, if it holds below the open. If NQ gets back above 570s, we're stuck. For day 4 in a row this week. It's only 1 minute. I have a 40-point stop with 100-point TP, but I managed that. Enter it when it's set up on a high time frame that I know hits on the small time frame. It's fair. I like Apple to fill the earnings gap. Wouldn't that be Apple to the upside? Not really. If it does, it does. That's not a chart I want to long, personally. Let me remove all those drawings. Just the way I trade, we're sitting in a 3-day consolidation. If it breaks the highs, yeah, it can get a nice continuation higher. It can go back up to 320s, possibly even like 330s. If I'm going to long something, it's not this. It's not a big earnings gap lower. It's similar to Tesla. Do I think Tesla can go higher if buying pressure steps in? Yeah, of course. But when the market's rallying, we're having stocks hit new all-time highs or daily uptrends. This isn't really the chart that I'm seething to jump into. If it's longer-term type of shares, sure. I like good buying opportunities. But when we're looking at weekly options, normally as well, because the volatility in IV is still going to be inflated in these, due to that move, especially Apple, because that move was quite literally end of last week. So you'd have to look at how volatility is priced, see if the contracts make sense. If they make sense, rip it. Just not something I love. Like the other day when I'm going no stop losses for our candle, tells me it'll go past 2000. I said stop was at 860. I think it went down like 830. Shut up. Yeah, Young. So you have a strategy. You probably just haven't actually sat down and fully wrote or like analyzed every single aspect of it. But you have the strategy in your mind to where now it's just an intuition perspective. So you're trading structure. You're trading multi-time frame analysis from what I hear. At least from what I can tell from what you're saying. Yeah, so that's just intuition based off of reading the price action. All right, are bulls going to get us back above the open on NQ? Dollar's back below the open a little bit. Oil's still sideways. Gold hit new highs again. Almost at, what is that area? 350s. Pretty damn close to it. I don't like that buying pressure. 15 looks terrible, but this could easily just push back higher. Like I said, I was willing to take the risk in the beginning. I'm leaving this. It's $250. It's not going to be a big deal if it hits. Even if I hit target, I think it's 47,600, so it wouldn't be terrible. It'd be a solid little trade. Young, it's because I haven't put anything on stream. People only like to stream when I put it in there. It's probably also, like, I'm not going to blame chat because I remind people a lot more when I'm actively promoting a giveaway. But I've been doing a giveaway every other day this week for the most part. So I'll probably run one tomorrow. I also did run a sneaky one on Jake's stream today. He genuinely didn't know about. He left stream for like 3 minutes, so I just said, fuck it, let's entertain chat and run one. What up, Connor? What up, CXT? Is that your first message in chat? Okay. Let's just prevent anything coming from that shit. Zach, we're not even starting those fucking conversations. Not even bringing them to light. It's just, there's no way any reply to that message ends well. Connor, I don't know what you mean by that message. I don't know if I want to know what you mean by that message. Didn't Jake say give away 5 Lucids tonight? Chris, I know for a damn fact that you're lying because there's a few Lucids left on the chart for us to, like, that for the codes. All of the Lucids that are left says do not use. So I know Jake ain't telling me to use Lucids. If you said Tradeify growths, you might have had something to play on there. But we out of Lucids, my guy. I think Jake said hook up Natch with a free eval. Did he? Did he now? Yeah, Adrian, I have no problem if I'm like, oh my God, this chart is overly bullish now, getting out of the trade. I wouldn't say the market's overly bullish. I mean, if you look at the 15, it's a weaker candle across the board. Can we completely reverse this? Yes, easily, without any hesitation. If I was full size, full risk, maybe. But the last thing I want to do is micromanage this. I took the risk when I got in the position. Normally, I'm more willing to change it. Let's say if we get below the open, set a lower high, and then we go and break that high. Now structure changing, I'm willing to get out. By the time structure changes here and we break this high, my stop's right above it. It'll take me out. Jake said 50 accounts. Oh, all right, chat. Y'all won't like the stream, but y'all want 50 giveaways? I see you. I thought it was on his Insta. You think Jake put on Instagram that I'm giving away 50 accounts? You think Jake wouldn't be on stream if we were ripping 50? I'm going to enter for tomorrow. It's the way to do it, young. I need to increase sample size to increase the probability of me winning one. Let me check that real quick. Yeah, Daniel, since you liked it now, might as well. Screw 50, dude. We'll do 70. Bulls give up already. NQ melt some more. Zach, they're fighting. Like I said, though, we're probably at the limit for our stream, dude. We moved 11 points. Every day we're getting like one extra point during this session. Yesterday was 9 3/4. Today's 11. That might be it. We did win. I was sorry, Connor. My Instagram, got hacked that day. Whenever you win, can't give you the code. Asia lows are around 29,591. Asia lows. What do you mean by Asia lows? Because Asia lows would be the low that we just made. Well, actually, it'd be the low right here at Asia Open at 39,546. New York lows. New York lows is this little end of day push. It's yesterday's low that we talked about, 29,530. Asia high, Asia low. What you typing song? It's an old level I forgot to move. I was gonna say, dude, you just throwing out random numbers. I'd blow you up in trading chat. Bring it, Connor. By the way, chat, I know Jake's been talking about the broker more and more. I like this broker a lot that we're testing. For those of you who don't know, Jake's talked about in his stream, we're currently beta testing a new broker. And it's pretty sick. The coolest thing I would say is being in the beta aspect of it. Like, we get to test it out and give advice on it. You know how sick that is? But I'm actually excited for it. And y'all know I'm ride or die, trade of 8, and trade C. I'd be moving to this one if it continues to trade how it is. Yeah, Zach. In my personal opinion, yeah. It's like a good mixture of both, but that is all the details I'll give about that. But no, I'm excited for it. Zach, I don't know those details. But it is a trading broker, not a prop firm. Like an actual broker. This is an easy A+ long setup for scalpers. If it is, rip it. Depending on what you're scalping. I'm pretty sure we already reversed that candle though, since you said that. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we just reversed that on NQ. Zach, that's how I was. I had only ever used Trade of 8 until Trade C came out. Then people said it was very similar to Trading View, so I gave it a shot with Lucid since they were the first ones to really implement it, and I liked it. If you need a mobile trader to try it out, hit me up. Rain. I mean, it could be an option. I'm sure at some point they'll release it to like a smaller demographic first, just to get more of the testing on a broader scale. Daniel, the main thing for me isn't necessarily the UI. I mean, if we're talking UI, I use Trade of 8, which I would say if you don't know it, could be a more complex UI, especially when compared to Trade C. The way I explained this today in one of the chats. Trade C for me, while it's a good broker, I feel like it's the Robin Hood of futures brokers, where the UI is very user friendly, but on any given fill, you could lose $50 as soon as you put that order in. Just because you might get that little bit of slippage, like me yesterday on NQ. I think I lost 4 points on a fill as I took it when I was trading Trade C. Say yes. I don't know when that was. That might have been yesterday. But no, the overall execution and the orders, the fills. Fills have been on point from everything I've traded, and I've been doing a lot of little tests on it. Execution, just the things you can do with it are phenomenal. But I like it a lot. All right, chat, let's see if this lower high wants to continue. One of these might. We might get an extra point on the low, get us to 12 points on the session. Really break it. We'll see what the chart's doing when we get towards 9 o'clock. I might hop off at 9. No matter what, I'm going to let this trade go. It's either going to stop me out or it's going to continue. We'll see, 1, how chat's acting, and then 2, what the market's doing. If we are still around 760s, probably just going to call it. Do we have a name for the broker? Chat, Jake name dropped it, right? I believe he did. If he did, someone type it in chat. Zach, what's the name? Just so I can confirm that it was name dropped. Because I don't want to overstep anything. That's definitely not it. You sure it didn't end in? Nope, that's a prop firm. That's the new prop firm partner. I don't know anything, by the way. I know we are now partnered with Funded Seat. I know nothing about it. It's not something I can fully talk on until I look at the rules. I haven't looked at it. Maybe just made up a funny name. I'm pretty sure. Okay, all right. Chat's just going fucking rogue now. I'm 90% sure he said the name on stream, but I can't confirm it because none of you guys know it. TradeOfX, no. Nope. That's the closest one so far, right? It had the word trade in it partly. Started with a T, right? It did. Well, if he didn't, worst case, I just get in trouble. It's called Tradara. The only reason I'm saying is I'm 90 to 95% sure he's name dropped it. Do you have a video of your trading view set up? I do. Bobby, send me a DM on Instagram if you have it. In all caps. Oh, did you say it? I did, Zach. I'm heavily convinced he said it. Like, I remember hearing him say it, and I'm like, damn, he said the name. Got you, song. Will the lower high continue? Yeah, Daniel, you better not snitch on me. No, Jeff. It's not who made this platform. I'm telling you, big dog, fucking bring it, Daniel. Snitch. Snitch. You ain't gonna tell him on YouTube, so I'm just gonna ban you. You ain't ever gonna be able to snitch. I have the memory of a goldfish. Welcome to the 2020s, my guy, when we live in a wonderful world of TikTok. Anything you watched 6 seconds ago, you no longer remember because you already flipped to the next reel. Maybe a gifted account will change my mind. Daniel, I got you, dog. There's your 10-second gifted account. I'll see you in 10. Tradesy, no. Tradesy's already a broker, dude. I can't. How would I beta test something that's already out? Oh, it actually deleted his messages from like 5 minutes ago. Evening, trader. Hit TP on GC, gonna call it night. Hell yeah, T loud. To be fair though, that is likely the only chart hitting a TP right now. NQ maybe. Maybe, depending on where you shorted. We're coming into New York lows. Maybe you got a TP on this, somebody. But we haven't moved on to ES at all. Trader, if you just said you always lose Asia session, first off, terrible mentality to have going into a trade for your last $100. Second, just wait till New York. Wait till you get a little more conviction. We are quite literally in an 11-point range on ES. It ain't worth risk. It's not. If I wasn't already in a trade, I would probably just end stream a couple minutes early. Because we're not moving. New York's been rough. I feel that today, if you tried to trade, because most of the days it's just been enter. This week in general, right? It's just been enter. You have to buy the only dip in the market. If you don't buy the only dip, kind of cooked. You go back one more day. We had one dip right at the open. No dips really. So it's been a very you need to execute immediately type of session. Or just buy with a wide stop. And then today did the opposite. If you bought with a wide stop, you got smoked on a couple spikes, and then it ended up being a bigger reversal. I'd half port here for 10 points. If it works. Zach, I'm usually on Allen Stream, at least for the early part of it. You'll know if I'm trading late because I'm on the late end of Allen's stream, even though majority of the time I lurk and I just don't talk. But if I'm in on the early stream, maybe I'm just hanging around to say what's up. But if I'm on at like 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., you know your boy's in the trenches trading. Most of the chat's probably already in Allen's stream. Allen's been running, what, 550 viewers? Somewhere around there, like 500-ish. And he holds it steady, too. Allen has been crushing it. Which is so funny, because in the beginning, he had 110, 120 people on stream. And he was struggling to keep up with chat. It was the funniest thing in the world to see. One HP, you and me both. You and me both. What up, Ollie? I figured out when to chat, when to focus. Yeah, I mean, in the end of it, does focusing on chat make the stream more entertaining? 100%. But if I'm actively stalking, looking for a setup, I appreciate you guys. But I do not care what's being said in chat if I'm looking to execute. Just because that's going to be more of a what was I thinking? Priority over anything else. Yeah, Ali, he crushed it. He also gets a lot of the European market. Where right now, I think for them, it's what, 3, 4 in the morning? Maybe not that late. Maybe like 2, 3. I think they're 8 hours ahead. No, they're not 8 hours ahead. 6 hours? Oh, Zach, we have people from everywhere. Chat, if you guys want to, and obviously you're just hanging out for the last couple minutes of stream, where are you guys from? Just to see the diversity. Because I've done this before. And there's people from all over the entire world just hanging out on stream. Ontario, Canada, Los Angeles. Sydney, Australia. There's Australia. New Zealand. LA, New York, 559. Don't know where that is. Quebec, SoCal, Canada, Atlanta, New Jersey, New York City, Denver, Florida, Virginia, Melbourne, Australia, Maine. Zay. Noted. If I ever need to send you like a postcard or something, I'll make sure to put that on there. Puerto Rico. Hell yeah. Zimbabwe. Ollie, is that? I feel like that's not true. I feel like that's not true. I don't think I've seen anyone else from New Zealand. I don't know if I have. Chats, where are you from? Up in Ohio, brother. I'm up in Northeast Ohio. Florida. I need to visit Florida again. Primarily when it's not 95. Actually, I really don't care if it's 95 and humid. There's just the amount of sunshine you get in Florida is 10 times better than being anywhere else. Anyone near South Euclid area? Not anymore, Zach. I used to live probably like 30 minutes from there. Now I'm probably an hour-ish. St. Pete's Day, I went there once. No, twice. I went there twice. St. Pete's bad to go out in. Oregon. St. Pete's bad to go out in because there's one bar that I always go to. I forget the name of it, but if you've been to St. Pete, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They have there's like an outdoor sportsy-ish bar. They have the life-size beer pong with the trash cans and soccer balls. You'll be in Lakewood, Ohio in October. Hell yeah. I lived in Bay Village for 3 years. Around there. 3, 4 years. Because I lived there 2 separate times. Zay, are you from that area? Down in St. Pete? Oh, nice, Zach. Yeah, I mean, houses are out here is probably a great place to get a rental. Depending on the neighborhood-ish and what city you're in. You a Bengals fan? No. Not a Bengals fan. I like depression. So you already know. Loyalist with depression. We rocking the Browns. Born and raised, other than the military for 8 years. Hell yeah, Zay. Zay, you already know if I go back down there, I'm hitting you up. Last time though, Zay, I have beef with St. Pete. For one reason and one reason only. Actually, 2 reasons. 2 reasons. We went out, it was New Year's Eve with me and my buddies. And we were like, where do we want to go? And we just said, screw it, we go to Florida. Because we always do like last minute vacations. So we were in St. Pete. We were at that bar I was talking about. First, obviously New Year's, Ubers. For some reason, St. Pete hates Ubers. There's like 2 Ubers in the entire city. Couldn't get an Uber. So we're like, all right, we'll get a scooter. We got 3 scooters. We were going to ride them. Well, St. Pete has a block, like a grid that you can only ride the scooters in, and you can only park them in certain spots. If you take them anywhere else, You have to ride that bitch all the way back, park it, and then walk all the way back out there. So it's like not even worth it. You're better off just straight up walking. So I don't know how you guys get around down there. Were you downtown? Yes. Thank you, NES Tumbling. Let's see if we can get continuation. Zay, and it was so fucking cold, dude. Since it was New Year's Eve, it was actually colder in Florida. It was like 1:30 in the morning. We're like, yeah, dude, let's just get out of here. Because we were already gone by then. And it was so miserable. I think we had to ride back like a mile and a half, park them wherever we were allowed. So that way we'd stop paying for them, and then walk that distance through a neighborhood. Didn't look the greatest. I'll tell you that right out the gate. Didn't look the greatest. We were like, we got to get there. So it was a fun time. But it was cold. Yeah, Zay, it wasn't fun. I mean, it was fun, but it wasn't fun in the time. All right, we have oil breaking the open, dollar still consolidating around the open. Gold doing what gold wants to do. Indices pulling back a little bit. NQ did break yesterday's low, so New York session lows, which is good. Now we got to see, because here's what I'm going to watch. If NQ continues to get a bit of selling pressure, we may see ES try to play that little game of catch-up we like to talk about, where it starts to head down towards yesterday's low. There's still a lot of room lower. If ES wants to get down here, NQ will likely be weaker as well, which can start to really push ES down a decent bit more. So I'll be watching, seeing what this does. I'll probably stay on for a few minutes, but then we'll call it. Yeah, Zay, I agree with that. It's also crazy because you look at anything in St. Pete. Now, mind you, apartments aren't bad, but you have a family. I really doubt you want to live in an apartment. So you're probably looking mid 500s for any type of house out there. Especially because it's just a huge, I mean, it's not a huge college town, but it's a decent college town. Is it, Rev? Yeah, I mean, they're down. They're not getting hammered. I'm also looking at a different name that's getting absolutely obliterated. I keep forgetting what that name is. Hub something? HubStop. Hubs. So you have SanDisk down like 8%. You got Hubs getting smoked, which is pulling down the other names as well, like the CRMs of the world. What is semiconductors doing? NVIDIA's break even-ish. Qualcomm's down a little. MU's down 3%. Interesting. Dude, imagine we get all of this rallying on the indices. Just a couple days, parabolic runs. MU puts in a daily lower high. You know how fast we probably reverse this move? If this chart just daily lower highs, AMD just daily lower highs, and we go for these lows, NQ might do what Zay would probably call the full gusto. You know what I mean? Straight from the lows up to the highs. Next thing you know, we're back down here like it's nothing. There's probably bears in the chat. They're just seething right now that I said that. It's definitely not something that's out of the picture. The main reason for me is we don't have daily support. We truly don't. I mean, we have some right here around last week's highs. But if we lose this at all, hold on, because we're going right back down here. We get back down here, I am bearish upon everything that will ever exist in the market. And I will say that right now. If we reverse this move, bears are in full control, and I am looking to send shorts. Salivating bears. Hey, the funny thing about bears is they're always salivating. We could be in a 2-year-long bull market, and they're still just sitting waiting for that little pullback to get the run moving. Today was hard. It seemed like a breakout on the daily indices. Yeah, Rev. I mean, it seemed like that, but I also feel like we talked about it yesterday too, because NQ was at a big daily resistance, wasn't it? It was. We talked about this exact scenario because I mentioned I don't know if NQ has the juice to get us through this. We got over this daily resistance, but we have just made such an extreme move. I don't know if the bulls are going to have enough momentum to get us over this. Without, to be fair, a couple days, maybe a week of consolidation, then I might. Zay, we get the occasional black bear out here. It's rare because I used to live out where I live now. We just kind of moved back to the area. When we were younger, there was a black bear like a quarter mile from our house. So nothing to be scared of, but just little black bears from PA that wander over. Which is crazy because I'm not even that close to Pennsylvania. What are we up? About 1 hour? Chat, I'm going to trail this stop to 60.5. I'm going to leave it there. My risk is going down to $75 on this trade. If it hits, we make six, or at least I make 600. If it doesn't, we're stuck in a range. Is what it is. But I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Market's getting a little bit of momentum. Not a bad trade so far. Nothing to be like overly ecstatic about. It's a move. We'll see if we can get continuation. If we do, I'd like to test yesterday's lows. Y'all just got my broader thesis on NQ in general. ES is going to be similar, right? Mainly NQ, though, just because it still has that potential for like a weekly lower high. It hasn't gotten all-time highs. I think it could if bulls show that we're clearly going to defend a certain support. But let us build out that support first. Then when we have a defined support, we can look, all right, this is our level. We get below it, may pull back. If we end up holding it, look for that continued upside. So, still looking for a little more downside. I'm going to leave this trade open. I have a stop at 60.5, risking 75 whole dollars on this. If it stops me, it stops me. If it keeps going, not a bad little buffer for midweek. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Alan's on 1 a.m. Eastern. Y'all already know that. Most of y'all are already there. I'll be back on tomorrow, 7 p.m. for our Friday, last stream of the week. And yeah, y'all have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.